They only cared once the world did. I found out my parents weren't coming to my graduation the same way everyone else learned where they'd be that weekend, through a Facebook post. My brother Lucas had just announced his big photography showcase in Seattle, right on the same date as my ceremony. The comments were full of my parents tripping over themselves to talk about flights, hotels, how they wouldn't miss this for the world. My graduation suddenly didn't exist. When I called my mom, she sounded put out, like I was interrupting her manicure. "We'll celebrate later, Danny. This is Lucas's first curated exhibit. It's a once-in-a-lifetime moment." "What about my once-in-a-lifetime moment?" I asked. "You'll have more achievements. Your brother needs us there." I didn't scream, even though I wanted to. Graduating summa cum laude while juggling 2 campus jobs didn't matter because it wasn't glamorous, not Instagrammable, not Lucas. So I said okay and hung up. Graduation day arrived cold and damp, the sky the color of wet cement. I sat with my cohort, scanning the bleachers out of habit even though I already knew they were empty. Meanwhile, my roommate's family showed up like they were attending the Oscars. Banners, balloons, the whole production. When they called my name, I walked across the stage alone. The applause sounded like someone clapping in an empty hallway. I almost skipped the departmental ceremony afterward. I was drained, numb, ready to curl up under a blanket and pretend the day didn't feel like a bruise spreading under my ribs. But Professor Ortiz had specifically asked me to attend, so I dragged myself to the lecture hall. He started his speech talking about excellence, grit, students who redefined what was possible. Then he said my name, my whole name. This year's recipient of the Caldwell Fellowship, full doctoral funding, plus a $48,000 stipend, has published 4 papers as an undergrad, maintained a 4.0 while working 20 to 30 hours a week, and produced a thesis on sustainable grid modeling already catching the attention of national labs. The room went wild. People I barely spoke to stood up and cheered. I'd known the Caldwell existed, sure, but I never thought I would get it. That was for the kids whose parents bought them lab equipment for Christmas, not someone who had to schedule experimental runs around cafeteria shifts. As I walked to the stage in a daze, my phone started vibrating in my pocket and didn't stop. By the time I sat back down, I had 14 missed calls from Dad, 7 from Mom, texts flooding in like a broken pipeline. The first one made me laugh so hard it echoed off the lecture hall walls. "Dad, why didn't you tell us about the Caldwell? This changes everything. We would have been there." Something cold and sharp settled under my ribs. They knew about my graduation. They just didn't know if it was worth attending. Mom's text came next, sticky sweet. "We had no idea you'd be recognized like this. We thought it was just a normal ceremony. Can we video call? We're so proud, sweetheart." I turned off my phone. That night, Lucas called from an unknown number, one I hadn't blocked yet. He sounded wrecked. "Mom and Dad are freaking out," he said. "They're saying they made a huge mistake. They want to fly back tonight. They want to throw you a party." I told them it was too late, but they— "Good," I said. "They should feel awful." There was a long pause. Then Lucas said something that made the air freeze around me. "I told them not to come to my opening. I told them they should go to your graduation instead." "What?" I whispered. "I told them, Danny. I said it was your day." Dad just said, "She'll understand. She's the reasonable one." He went quiet. I hung up. 2 months later, the apology campaign is still going strong. Long texts, short texts, voice messages thick with guilt, promises to do better. But every single message makes one thing painfully clear. They're sorry they missed a prestigious moment. They're not sorry they missed me. Last week, Mom sent a Hallmark card stuffed with a $5,000 check. "We're so proud of you. Congratulations on the fellowship." I mailed it back with one line scribbled across the envelope flap. "You only show up when everyone else does."